Recently, video gaming has been going under a lot of stress lately. We are on the verge of another video game crash, studios everywhere are having issues, and even the big ones like Xbox, PlayStation, and Nintendo are running into hiccups. Some people have designated this crash the Great Acquisition. We've seen Xbox buy up people like Bethesda and Activision. We've seen Nintendo buy absolutely nobody. But we've also seen PlayStation snap up people like Insomnia and House Marquee. So for the topic of this video, I ask you the question: who is next for PlayStation to buy? What is going to be the next PlayStation acquisition? My answer to this has two big AAA acquisitions and one that isn't an indie studio but also isn't a AAA studio. So let's get into it. First one's first, I think we can all look around the room and know this one is probably going to happen, or if it doesn't happen, we're all going to be surprised, and that is Square Enix. Square Enix has been losing money on basically everything that's coming out. PlayStation loves their game and loves their exclusive contracts because that leads to more console sales for PlayStation 5, even if that does mean, Square Enix is going to take a hit on game sales. I'm sure they make a profit, but Final Fantasy VII Rebirth did not do so hot, which is bizarre to say because it was one of the most successful games of 2024. However, it did not make the sales that Square Enix had wanted them to. And time again, every game that comes out from Square Enix, that turns out to be the case. Square Enix has a lot going for them, and if PlayStation were to, buy that studio and acquire it, bring it into the PlayStation family, that's a lot of IPs that they get a hold of. They now are the owners of Final Fantasy, Dragon Quest, Left Alive, and everything else. These are all big titles, big franchises that PlayStation could actually do something with. Not just that, but a lot of these teams would allow PlayStation to do things that fans want, but current PlayStation studios just aren't able to do, such as the Legends of Dragoon remake. And all of these HD, 2D, 3D games, I don't know exactly what they're called, but Dragon Quest III and Octopath Traveler are an example of this. There are so many games in PlayStation backlog that would be perfect for this style. Once again, Legends of Dragoon is one of them. If they were to bring that series back, this would be perfect for that style, and Square Enix I think would do a really good job, although I guess at that point it would be down to their individual studios and not Square Enix, just because of the PlayStation acquisition. The next one I think they could acquire, don't get me wrong, it's a safe guess. It's more than likely going to be something they can acquire because it is within their budget. That is Ubisoft. Ubisoft has been having tons and tons of issues. Since about 2020, they have not released a game that made a profit. They've shut down studios, they've delayed studios. And in just a couple weeks, we're going to be having Assassin's Creed Shadows launch, and that game has already been delayed 1,000 times. It's filled with controversy because of, I'm not going to go into it, but basically because of woke DEI stuff, or at least that's what the people who are upset about the game is saying the problem is. You can make your own opinions on that, we're not here to talk about that, but that is going to hurt the sales of Assassin's Creed Shadows. And from what all the leaks and rumors have said, if Assassin's Creed Shadows does not come out and set the world on fire, this is the end for Ubisoft. And Ubisoft has already talked that they are interested in being acquired. They don't want nothing to do with this anymore. The family that owns it has held it for a very long time, but it looks like they're having trouble keeping the stock happy. Stock just keeps going down. It's just, they gotta sell it. Literally they're gonna have to sell it or bad things are gonna happen. So I think that would be a perfect, acquisition into PlayStation. Now, let's think about it this way. Assassin's Creed is basically Ghost of Tsushima. Ghost of Tsushima was what Assassin's Creed should have been doing with Assassin's Creed Shadows. However, that wasn't the case. I think if Ubisoft comes in and that team comes in and does something big, I think they could be a second-hand series of the Ghost of XYZ series. Maybe go to different timelines, different XYZs, just everything about the past, have two teams doing that. Instead of just having it be Sucker Punch, have the Ubisoft teams do that as well. And of course, PlayStation is all about live service now, so you get Rainbow Six Siege into the mix. Fans want a fighter, you got Brawlhalla coming with them, and that Brawlhalla team could very easily take that style of game and make a PlayStation All-Star Smash type clone, and it actually do good this time. And then you also get the Far Cry license. That would be major for PlayStation because then you could have the Far Cry team, you could have them split. One team continues to make a new Far Cry game, and the other team could potentially go on to making Resistance games, which everybody would be happy. I don't think a single person would complain. And then look around at all the little mini projects that Ubisoft has going on. Mario and Rabbids Kingdom Battle, that would be a perfect style. Obviously they couldn't do Mario on PlayStation, but if you took that style of game, that overhead cheeky XCOM style, and you pulled any PlayStation IP, let's just say Jak and Daxter for example, because I feel like it would be perfect for this. If you were to make a Jak game in that style, that would be just so much fun. It would be great. And of course, with Astrobot, oh yeah, even Astrobot, you could do Astrobot that way with that team. And with Astrobot being as big as it was in 2024, I feel like that would be a very smart idea. And Ubisoft acquisition, period, everything that it comes in and brings with it, especially the IPs for Sony to go off and make movies with, or even animes. This is like a no-brainer. This is a win-win for everybody. They would have to be the most likely for PlayStation to buy of everyone. And now onwards to a company that I said is not indie, but also not AAA. That would be Shift Up. As far as we know now, Xbox is the rightful owners of Ninja Gaiden. So if Shift Up, who are the developers of Stellar Blade, were to be acquired by PlayStation, PlayStation could have their own Ninja Gaiden through that team. Obviously, Ninja Gaiden's gonna come out on everything. Xbox is no longer exclusive. However, this could be another major way for PlayStation to expand their IPs, expand their reach. They've already shown that they're interested in these Asian devs, but I mean, of course, PlayStation's Japanese, so why wouldn't they be? But the Hero program, the outreach program in China, and if I'm not mistaken, even though Shift Up is South Korean, I think they were also a part of that program. I could be wrong on that though. This would be an absolute perfect match made in heaven for them. Going back to what we were talking about before, having these new studios, potential new studios, make old classic PlayStation games, I think Shift Up could do a Sly Cooper game and have it be incredibly good. Just incredibly good. Because Stellar Blade, in a way, it kind of plays like Sly Cooper to a certain degree, the combat style more specifically. If they were to do that for Sly Cooper, that would be phenomenal. That would be amazing. And obviously with them acquiring studios, not just Shift Up but everyone else, because obviously they're going to acquire more studios, whether it's these three or someone else, they're going to do it. It would be perfect to start sitting a lot of these companies that are, you know, very specialized in one type of genre and have them go back and doing those type of games for PlayStation's past. Jak and Daxter, Sly Cooper, Ratchet and Clank, whatever it may be, Legends of Dragoon, all these great games. There are studios out there that PlayStation can buy, throw the IP to them, and have them make the game and have it be better than if a current PlayStation studio themselves made it. Not just that, but a lot of these studios are too busy to work on their own IPs. Obviously, we're not going to see Sucker Punch go back to Sly Cooper. They didn't even go back for Sly 4. We're not going to see Naughty Dog go back to Jak and Daxter. And we are definitely not going to see Santa Monica Studios go back and do classic God of War. So a new studio such as Shift Up could even go back and make classic style God of War games, or even remake them if the rumor that they're currently being remade is false. That would be a perfect studio to do it. There are of course endless options that Sony could acquire, but these three are the big ones that are, in my opinion, very likely to be bought by PlayStation. But what about you? What do you think about my 3 picks for acquisitions by PlayStation? Let me know in the comments down below. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, Jonathan, and I'll see you in the next video.